Hi guys, this is Fran here to talk to you about self-care. Now today I want to focus on self-care and our frontline workers. Okay, now I started with the music because music is a big part of my self-care. When things are going chaos, when things are going chaotic, when I'm feeling down, when I'm feeling happy, music does it for me. So that's just one form of self-care. So self-care and our frontline workers. Now everyone is supposed to self-care. Make no mistakes. Everyone's supposed to self-care. But I want to focus on our frontline workers because a lot of times when we think of our frontline workers, we put them in the category of heroes, which they are for the work that they do. Okay, heroes, we think of them as strength. They exhibit a lot of strength. Okay, and we admire the work that they do, especially during this pandemic that just passed. But even the strongest person needs support. They need a supportive system. They need to self-care because if they do not self-care, eventually they're going to deteriorate. Okay, their body is going to run down and they're not going to be able to perform. They're not going to be able to excel in that work or that field or that profession that they do. Okay, so I just want to go through a couple of things that happens to our frontline workers when they do that self-care. So our frontline workers, one of the things that happen to them is that they go through secondary traumatic stress. Right, secondary traumatic stress. You're hearing all of the traumatic stories, especially our therapists, our social workers. You're hearing all the stories of trauma. You're hearing all the stories from people who have traumatic past, traumatic history. You're hearing it consistently. And even though you have on that professional lens, you're seeing things in the professional realm. After a while, if you are not self-caring yourself, it's going to take a toll on you. It's easy to say, okay, when I leave work, I close that door, I don't bring work at home. But at the end of the day, you are a human being. You're a human being, and you're hearing about that child who is suffering, that woman who's being beaten, that man who is had whatever experience. He hasn't had a dad in the home, and he's encountered bullying and all those other issues. You're hearing all these stories consistently on a daily basis. It will bring wear and tear on your emotion, on your self-esteem, on everything, on your well-being. And eventually when your well-being is impacted, as we know, it will impact our physical health. So secondary traumatic stress is something that our frontline workers encounter. Another thing our frontline workers encounter is vicarious trauma. Vicarious trauma, so this occur over time. It doesn't occur as fast as the secondary traumatic stress. This could be years. So, you have someone who was in this field for 10 years and they're doing fine, or for 5 years and they're doing fine. And all of a sudden they're burdened down. This is vicarious trauma. They're doing it and they're not self-caring. They're not self-caring. They're just into the work. They just pour themselves into the work. Okay, and we have a lot of our high functioning depression frontline workers. Okay, they're depressed, but they're just going at it. They're doing it. I'm guilty of that. A lot of times we're depressed, we're going through our own stuff, we're going through our own emotions, our own trials and tribulations, but we're not taking that time out to self-care and take care of ourselves. And a lot of times we're doing this. One of the reasons because you don't want to feel. You feel like, okay, if I keep myself busy and I don't take time out to think about this thing that happened to me, being busy, I'm not going to have to think about it, okay? Because at the end of the day, when I come home, it's just a shower, eat, and go in my bed and get up, and the same routine. But as I stated earlier, you're still going to have that wear and tear on your body, and the end result can be disastrous, okay? So we definitely need to self-care. As I stated earlier, everyone needs to self-care, but our frontline workers in particular, because as in the pandemic, we see a lot. We see healthcare workers committing suicide, and some people said, "Oh, this person has a good job. Why would they commit suicide? They're prominent. They have a prominent role in society, why would suicide be a part of their thoughts, a part of their mindset? But it's what's going on, all of the underlying factors that are not being explored. Everyone come with a history, everyone come with a past. Okay, and if we're going to just throw ourselves into our work and think that the past is going to disappear, it does not disappear. We have to take time to self-care. We have to take time to get the help that we need. I cannot stress that enough. We have to take the time to get the help that we need, especially our frontline workers. We're so good at doing and helping. We're very good at this. We're very good at helping and doing the things and masking and helping others. And we're not turning the camera inwards. We're not looking at ourselves. We're not examining ourselves. And I'm preaching to myself as well, because like I said earlier, I am guilty of this. And this is something that I consistently have to check myself. Okay, when the body is beginning to get tired and exhausted, okay, it's telling me something. Okay, it's time to tell that person no. You don't have to say yes to everyone and not feel guilty about it. Learn to say no sometimes for your own mental well-being. We cannot take care of the whole world. We cannot save the whole world. The intentions may be good, but you cannot save the whole world. Okay, and I want to talk a little bit more about the high functioning depression. So with the high functioning depression, some of the symptoms are the same as regular depression. So you have change in eating habits, change in sleeping habits, low self-esteem, fatigue, hopelessness, difficulty concentrating on most days. So it's very similar to regular depression. Okay, but the thing is, you may not see this because they're so busy being consumed in work and so busy being busy, keeping themselves busy. Okay, so we have to keep a close eye on our loved ones, those who are close to us. Keep a very close eye on what's going on. And sometimes self-care doesn't require anything major. It may require just turning the phone off and taking a nap. Turning the phone off and taking a nap. Okay, we're so caught up in social media, and especially with this pandemic that has forced us into more social media and doing everything virtual. So sometimes just turning the phone off. Music, like I said, music is one of my thing. Cook a nice meal, go for a walk, whatever works for you. Whatever works for you. But definitely take some time to self-care. Okay, hope this was helpful, and I will talk to you guys soon.